Ninjutsu, as perceived by the world today, is an art that trained their members in warfare, mastering weapons, unarmed combat techniques, guerrilla warfare, and espionage. They were considered the master spies of their time. Ninjutsu was created in Japan about 1100 years ago, and true, they were hired by reigning warlords as spies and assassins. But this was only necessary for survival, to protect themselves and their leaders, much as today our modern armies train men to protect their countries and families. Japanese Grandmaster Masaaki Hatsumi is a descendant of the ninja tradition and recognized leader of this art today. Dr. Hatsumi trains his members not to seek confrontation, but to enhance their mental and physical health through ninjutsu training, to live a life of honor and respect, obeying the laws of man and nature. One of his leading disciples and certified instructor of ninjutsu is Jack Hoban.
You know, martial arts is a very important thing in my life and probably for most of you. And I was just thinking back on how I got involved in some of the great lessons that I've received from my teachers. I'll never forget when I asked Masaaki Hatsumi, my Budo teacher, you know, what is the purpose of martial arts? And he said, life, to live. And I was a little bit taken back by the simplicity of that answer, because I had always thought in terms of empowerment or self-defense or strength or power or winning. And he said it's really not about winning or any of those things. It's just use martial arts to live, for life. And another of my great teachers, the late Dr. Robert Humphrey, he put this in perspective for me as well when he talked about his theory of the life value. Dr. Humphrey was a Marine officer on Iwo Jima, and he's seen just about all the things that you need to see to qualify as a warrior. And I remember as I had started my martial arts training, both under Hatsumi Sensei and the mentorship of Robert Humphrey, you know, a lot of things happen to a young man when they start to get the power of the martial arts. And I remember thinking that, gosh, I was getting pretty good at the martial arts, and I remember developing, and I don't know where this came from, but I started to develop an attitude that when I walked around, and I'd walk into a place or maybe a bar or a restaurant, I would look around and I'd put out this vibe of, hey, I'm bad, you better not mess with me. And you know, nobody has to raise their hand out there, but I bet for most of you, when you first start to feel, you know, the power that you could gain from training in the martial arts, you felt the same way. You would look around and see this guy over there and say, ah, well, you know, he better not mess with me, or you'd see that person over there, well, if this guy ever did anything to me, then I could do this to him, I could do that to them, or whatever. And it was Dr. Humphrey that put the words to the thoughts that Hatsumi Sensei had been trying to convey to me for many years as a young man, as a Marine officer, trying to go from soldier, if you will, to warrior, which I think is a step up. He said to me, Jack, you know, I see you as you walk around in these places, put out this vibe of, you know, making sure everybody knows how capable and tough you are. But I'm going to ask you to try something else. Instead of walking into these places and letting everybody know that they shouldn't mess with you, walk in with the attitude that everybody in that place is a little safer because you're there. Everybody in the place has a friend if they need it. If you try that, I think you'll find it's a better life. So I tried it and I found out that it is a better life. And I recommend that philosophy to you. The Fudoken. Thumb is tucked. Striking target is these two knuckles, or this knuckle here. Wrist is straight, supported by the body. The shutos. Omote shuto, hand is open. This is kind of like a little roof of a building. The support is the thumb. The striking area is this meaty fat part of the hand. And remember, it flicks open. It flicks open right before it hits. It kind of snaps open. Ura shuto is the other way. Now, the striking part is, again, same place, but the fingers are on the top, the knuckles are on the top, and again, it flicks open. It snaps open when it hits. Meaty fat part is where it hits, not the fingers, not the side bone. The shakoken. Shakoken, the fingers are grabbing, the palm is striking at the same time, and it's driving in. It's not just your fingers that are doing the work here. The whole body is doing the work with the shakoken. The boshiken is the thumb. And you see Dale stretching the thumb out, pointing the thumb out. The thumb is the striking point, but the wrist is straight and the body delivers the blow. The body delivers the blow. Right, that's very good. And then finally, we have the shikanken. It can be the fingers this way or the fingers that way. There's a little hollow here. You kind of got these fingers supporting each other, and this knuckle part here slides into a very soft area, such as the throat. Shizen no kamae. Ichimonji no kamae. Jumonji no kamae. Hira no kamae. Hoko no kamae. Kose no kamae. Doko no kamae. Bobi no kamae. Icho no kamae. We're going to be talking about weapons today, specifically sticks. We got all sizes of sticks and a lot of extra weapons just to show you that that are kind of like in the stick fighting family. One thing that I want to make clear here is that although we're calling this series The Art of the Ninja, we're really talking about a series of 9 different martial arts within the Bujinkan system. And some of these stick fighting techniques are from Ninja Ryu, and some of them are from other traditional martial arts Ryu. So my purpose here today is not going to be to try to teach you what technique is from which Ryu. There are videos on that made by Masaaki Hatsumi, And if you really are interested in this specific ryu, I think you should, I suggest that you take a look at those videos. But today we're going to be talking about the nuts and bolts of how to hit with a stick, and we're going to be using different sizes of sticks. So that's going to be the focus here today. To my left, this is Jim Cruz. He's a teacher in California here in this area where we're shooting the video. And he's got in his hand a rokushaku bow. And that is a 6-shaku bow. Shaku is approximately a foot. And this is a very traditional martial arts weapon from Japan. And we use this in our system. Right next to him, is Jeff Marson. He's from Reno. He's got a jo. A jo is probably 4 foot high. It's not exactly, it doesn't have to be any exact length, but let's say a walking staff size, come up to about the armpit, and the diameter of it is about 1 1/8 or so. But again, it doesn't have to be exactly any particular dimension. It's whatever feels comfortable to you. Jason Payne also is from Reno. He's got a han bow. Han means half, and han bow is half a bow, so it's about half the size of a rokushaku bow. And this is a weapon that's we use, maybe one of the introductory weapons that we use when we're teaching our stick fighting systems to newcomers to our art. Kevin Millis here is a master instructor from towards the LA area. I think he's moving to Palm Springs soon, and he's got in his right hand a naginata, which is it's a training naginata, but this portion here would be a blade, and in his other hand he has a yari, or a spear. Again, we use training weapons, of course, to train it. We suggest that you do too. And this up here would be a spear, and they come in all shapes and sizes, depending on the school and the style and the point of history in which they were used, and the kind of armor that people were wearing or were not wearing, and also to the taste of the person that was using them. You want your weapon to feel comfortable, and you want to be really at home with the weapon. So as we do these techniques, keep in mind also that in order to become comfortable with the weapon, what you need to do is carry the thing around and use it and hold it and walk through the woods with it, and smack dead logs with it, and these kind of things, so you really get the feel of how the weapon should feel to you and how it fits your body. Okay, so these are the weapons that we're going to be using today, specifically these 3 here, although we may do some demos with the other ones. And I want you to don't think in terms of techniques, don't think in terms of schools for the purpose of this training. Think in terms of, hey, how do I hold this thing properly? How do I move my body? How do I strike with it? How can I use this to manipulate my opponent and make myself safe, to protect myself and others? The first thing we're going to talk about today are the kamae, or the whole body attitudes that we use with these sticks. So today we're going to be talking about 5 different kamae. The shizen no kamae, the second one is seigan no kamae, the third one is hira ichimonji no kamae, the fourth one is yoko ichimonji no kamae, the fifth one is tenchi no kamae. But again, don't get too hung up on how many different kamae are there or what are the specific names. There's a myriad of different kamaes, and sometimes the kamaes are the same, sometimes they're similar from ryu to ryu, from school to school, and sometimes they're completely different. But it's really not that important for this stage of the training. So let's just go through the ones that we have here, and then we'll take the opportunity to say, now how would I move into a strike or some kind of a strike or defense position from the original kamae. This is shizen no kamae, natural kamae. And you can see that everybody's standing very naturally, a little bit different compared based upon what the size of the stick is and the comfort of the person, but just a natural standing position, and may want to just keep your sticks. That feels good. How about you? That feels natural to you? Okay. And then the natural position is the natural position. What do you feel comfortable with? My suggestion is you get a mirror and you stand in front of it and you move your hand up and down and you see where the most comfortable place is, where your hand looks natural, where it's not bent or crooked as you're holding the stick. Your feet are naturally apart, your body is naturally straight, you're looking forward,